Index investing, though popular, does come with its fair share of pitfalls, of drawbacks, of disadvantages. And so in this video, I want to consider 10 disadvantages of index investing. Number 1, limited upside potentials. You discover that in a typical market, some stocks tend to outperform other stocks in the market. They tend to have a higher upward swing in price compared to other stocks in the market. So a typical index investor will not be able to partake or benefit from these cases of outperformance here and there in the market, because the entire fund is tied to an index, and the index cannot capture or benefit from these instances or cases of stock outperforming in price in the market from time to time. Number 2, market risk exposure. A typical index fund is exposed to the market, and so when the market undergoes a downtrend, when this is a particular risk that affects a given market, you come to realize that index funds that are exposed to that particular market would underperform, the valuation will decline based on the specific risk the market is exposed to. Number 3, lack of flexibility. When it comes to flexibility in terms of the stock to buy and what not to buy, the sectors to pick your stocks and the one you ought not to pick your stocks from, this flexibility is completely absent when it comes to index investing. Unlike an active manager can pick stocks in whichever sector he or she deems is necessary to be able to meet up with the portfolio level of portfolio returns the manager expects. In the case of index investing, this freedom, this liberty, this flexibility is non-existing. Number 4, exposure to poor performance. An index fund is exposed to the performance of the market. If the market performs poorly, probably due to a declining economy, the index fund will equally perform poorly as a result of its overall exposure to the market. And so the index fund performance mirrors the performance of the index, and the index equally reflects the performance of the economy. And so these entities tend to influence each other one way or the other. Number 5, no protection during downturn. The market doesn't grow forever. The market doesn't go on an uptrend forever. From time to time, the market experiences a downward trend in prices. And so when this particular trend occurs, when this downward trend in prices occurs, you discover that the index fund investor has no protection at all, because the fund's performance is strictly mirrors the performance of the market. When the market goes down, the index fund investor is completely exposed to whatever trend the market is undergoing. They are not covered, they're not protected at all. Number 7, minimum active management. Unlike an actively managed fund, an index fund is passively managed. The manager in an index fund virtually does virtually nothing, just to buy the index and kind of go to rest. And so that liberty of active management is completely absent in an index fund. It doesn't really occur at all. And so there's minimal to little or to no active management in these regards. Number 7, potential of overvaluation. There's always that risk of overvaluation in the market. The market could be very expensive, could be highly overvalued, and once the market is overvalued, an index fund could be overvalued as well, which of course is not a normal trend in the market. And so it's just the way it is. When the market is overvalued, the fund is overvalued, and when the market is undervalued, the fund is equally undervalued. Sometimes, a number of stocks in an index fund could control the valuation, could influence the valuation of an entire index. Take for instance the S&P 500. The performance of that particular index is controlled by a few large cap stocks like Amazon, Apple, Nvidia, Tesla, and other related companies. So this index is controlled or is influenced largely by the performance of these very few stocks, which of course is not palatable at all. Number 8, diversification. Unlike an actively managed fund, the index fund is not as diversified as that of an actively managed fund. An active fund manager can choose to diversify specifically within a particular sector or within a given industry, or even within a particular geography. The index fund manager has no such liberty, and so they are least diversified compared to an actively managed fund. Please don't forget to subscribe and give me a thumbs up, and equally press the notification button. Don't equally forget to share these contents to people close to you, so I can be motivated to keep on bringing something of this nature to you. Number 9, inertia risk. This risk of inertia, in the sense that the stock performance, the index performance are tied down to a particular stocks. And in a case where those stocks are not doing very well, the index fund manager can do nothing about it. Let's say in a given index, some stocks there, some constituent stocks are not performing well. There's nothing the manager can do. The manager's hands are tied. You can't really say, okay, I want to divert from these stocks and invest in other ones. No, it's tied into the index, and it's nothing the manager can do. That is one peculiar risk about an about an index fund that is quite unpalatable at all. Then number 10, benchmark reliance. The index fund relies solely on the benchmark. If the benchmark performs very well, then of course the index fund will perform very well. And unfortunately, if the benchmark, the index is tied to, underperforms, the index fund will equally underperform. There are no two ways about it. And even if the manager has, that tendency to see how he could, at an individual level, see how he can adopt some means of overperformance, it's not possible with an index fund. So his hands are tied to the benchmark. His performance relies solely on the benchmark, and nothing can be done about it. That is how a typical index fund operates.